when I last left my house before I started filming in Utah in April, I took a look around and I thought, the next time I see this place, I will have completed the Last Supper in the Garden of Gethsemane. And I was overwhelmed with emotion. I was like, sorry.
Yeah, sometimes when I've heard people offer criticisms or I don't find it theologically enriching, I think, okay, fine, like you need to read Thomas Aquinas' commentary on the Gospel of Matthew. But there are a lot of people who aren't there yet and need
It's a bridge too far.
It's a bridge too far. And it seems like what you're doing is like a gentle way to introduce people to this person of Jesus. I wonder, how many people hadn't read the New Testament until they saw your show and went, I'm going to give that another crack. Or I'm going to go buy a Bible from Barnes & Noble. And
so many people they grew up with this image of Jesus as this stern taskmaster that, if you're not perfect, you may as well go to hell. It's like, whoa. No. That is the opposite. It's the opposite. Look who he hung out with. Who did he hang out with? Prostitutes, tax collectors, cheats, thieves, like people that...
And people don't hang out with people who make them feel ashamed all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not
Why
like,
would
well,
they?
yeah, he did hang out with them, but he was always like, you're not good enough, you suck, try harder. No one hangs out with people like that.
Right.
There was an affection for Christ.
Yeah.
I am shocked. She is from the Red Quarter. Much of what is done there cannot even be spoken by my tongue or cross my lips. It is so unholy. The mere mention of it would defile me.
Go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, more than sacrifice.
I think being able to shatter those myths for people through the way we're introducing him in the story and introducing his humanity at a pace that has never been explored before, because nobody's ever done a long form telling of Jesus' story, of his just his ministry time. Nobody's done that. And so in doing so, we're recognizing that people are appreciating his humanity and developing such an affinity for him that when we get to the crucifixion, they don't know. People are going to be beside themselves. They don't even have to see the crucifixion. I mean, I'm assuming we'll see the crucifixion, but you almost don't even have to see the crucifixion. Like I'm friends with Russell Brand, and he said to me, he's like, he met this guy who was like this hard man, been through a lot, and he had said to him, he's been watching The Chosen, and he's like, I don't want to see him go to the cross. I like this guy. I like him a lot. I'm afraid to see him go to the cross, and so when you guys get these big tough guys that are all of a sudden now affected because they've been developing this affinity, this genuine affection for Jesus, it's like, whoa, that's what it is. That's what we all need to feel. That's what we should all feel about Jesus going to the cross. And what happens when he first gets slapped? I mean, I think people are going to be like,
I know that guy. Yeah. Don't slap him. I like him. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
I'm really curious how people are going to perceive it and receive it. Even what we filmed this season for season 5, it was Holy Week. So, Jesus comes into Jerusalem, everything that happens in Holy Week.
Have you filmed this yet?
We filmed it all. I just finished it days ago.
Okay, forgive me. Is this the final season? Or
No. We have 7 seasons planned.
There's 7 seasons. And what season are we on right now?
We just finished filming season 5. Okay. Season 4 was just released on Amazon.
Okay. Wow.
And we had it in theaters for a short time as well. Season 5, we go through the Last Supper. I just filmed the Garden of Gethsemane like a week ago, and it's going to be tough for people. I mean, it's the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
It's tough for me.
Yeah, because what's your schedule like? I bet it's grueling. And do you sometimes think, I hope I have enough in me enough in the tank to get through this, especially as you go towards the cross? That's going to be personally exhausting, but I imagine spiritual attack and spiritually exhausting.
Yeah. I'm just kind of coming out of this experience, so I'm I don't want to complain too much, but I'm honestly exhausted.
Bless you. Well, you look good.
Well, thank you. That's what Ashley Parker, my hair and makeup artist, does for me. That's
Okay.
there's miracles in those fingers. I'm really excited to get to talk to you here and to be here. But it is it was the most difficult 2 weeks of my career, and spiritually, like, I think there was a lot of anxiety. Like I Robert Powell, who played Jesus in Jesus of Nazareth, in an interview, somebody asked him the similar kinds of questions, like, "What's it like to play Jesus?" Basically, and he's like, "He's unplayable. You can't play Jesus. He's unplayable." Meaning, like, how do you wrap your mind around Jesus Christ's divinity, humanity, hypostatic union? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't even begin to think about, well, I know what it's like to play divinity. I don't. I only know what it's like to be human, and woefully so, and failingly so, and so all I can do is bring the utmost of my humanity and my intention to and desire to serve Christ and to honor Him and to get out of the way of the Holy Spirit and try to understand through the help of the Holy Spirit. And to ask Jesus, what did you experience here? What did you experience sitting at this table? And there's John, and perhaps here's Judas. Like, what was that like? What's going on in the pit of his stomach, knowing what's coming as a person, as a human? Like, did he have butterflies? Was he, every time he looked at him, did he want to cry? Did he want, so those kinds of things. And then in the garden, it's like, well, what does it mean to sweat blood or sweat like drops of blood? Like, what causes that physical reaction? What is happening on the inside? What's going on with his heart and his mind as he's wrestling with it to cause such consternation and such physical stress for this to be recorded in the gospel? And whatever that is, Lord, you have to help me, because I can't do this on my own. I can't just manifest this. So I surrender it to you. And whatever happens, I have to accept. But I will try everything I can that I think with my human logical mind, with my cognitive brain, to summon whatever those circumstances might have been to affect me emotionally, to be able to give what I can for this scene. And then everything else that happens, that's up to you. And I surrender it. And Amen. So I had to, I mean, it's the prayer life experience. It's the Christic experience of just saying, I'm nothing without you. And so give me what I need so people can see who you are, and wanting to get that right and do that right. It's, the first day I think we started filming, those 2 weeks, was for the Last Supper. And I had my spiritual director, he came out to be with me, and I was sitting in the hair and makeup chair, and next thing I know, like, I get these massive pains, like, just shooting up into my ear, and I'm like, is this anxiety? It's like, at one point I had heart palpitations. I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't know what's happening, but I'm just, and I texted my spiritual director, who's in the other room, and he's like, I'm saying a rosary for you right now. And in 15 minutes, it all went away and everything was fine. But I think kind of speaking to what the sort of attacks and things like that, I think the spiritual attacks kind of manifest themselves in so many different kinds of ways. Maybe that's some of it. Maybe that's just physical anxiety. Maybe that's just me trying to do the best I can and not, ruin it for Jesus. So that's been my state of mind for several months, especially as we get closer and closer. And I'm sure, even though I'll have a lot less dialogue once we go into the arrest and the crucifixion and, the scourging, I'll have a lot less dialogue, but I don't think it'll be any less emotionally and spiritually taxing.
Yeah, you have to simultaneously take what you're doing extraordinarily seriously.
Yes.
And at the same time, not take yourself seriously.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that? I mean, Pope Benedict, when he was elected to the chair, said he takes great comfort in knowing that the Lord knows how to use blunt instruments. That's and I also had another priest say, Lord, use even my, he used a different word to the one I'm about to use even my bullcrap as manure for their growth. And it's like,
that.
if you felt just how serious you got to be, it would kill you.
Yeah.
like the kind of impact you're going to have, whether you want to or not, is so great that it must be crippling in a way. And yet at the same time, like you can only do it badly. I'm not saying you do it badly, but you know what I mean?
I do terribly. I'm
no,
like,
I don't think
how
so.
am I even doing this?
But your point earlier about the other actor is like no one can play Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so what's the best level of playing it badly I can do?
Yeah.
Honestly, you know, and then that surrender. I mean, not only do you as an actor have to do it, every single Christian has to do that in their own life. I got to be the best dad I can be. I fail all the time. I get impatient with my wife. I get, irritable. And every day it's like, well, thank God I'm not you. Thank God you're in charge. And that's the other thing that's got to be so beautiful. Like, you can't convert anybody, Jonathan Roumie, and neither can Matt Fradd. Like, that's the work of the Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness indeed.
So do you have significant chunks off, time of rest, and then do you come in to film a season and it's just, how many hours a day is it?
About 11 to 12, 13, 15, depending on how intense it is. And then we do that for about 3 or 4 months. And then we have, on either end, promotion of the series, marketing.
Yep.
It's been kind of a full-time thing.
Yeah, it sounds it.
Yeah. But when I last left my house before I started filming in Utah in April, I took a look around and I thought, the next time I see this place, I will have completed the Last Supper in the Garden of Gethsemane. And I was overwhelmed with emotion. I was like, sorry. Because that means the journey's almost over. And I've spent the better part of 6 years with my best mate, talking to him and asking him for advice and how do I play this scene and what did he go through, and allow me even a modicum of the experience that you had, even like a percent of a percent of a percent, to be able to understand authentically and portray authentically what you went through. And when I don't necessarily have that anymore, I don't know what it'll be like. I mean, I'd probably be pretty down for a while. I think everybody, when you're on a show for so long and then you don't have it, there's a little bit of a depression, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to project that or whatever, or say woe is me or anything like that, but it's like, oh man, this ride that I've been on is going to be over soon. So despite everything, I'm trying to be as present as I can every step of the way, in a way that I hadn't been even the first 4 seasons, because I wasn't thinking about the cross. I wasn't thinking about the end. I was trying to be present just to what's happening now. Yeah. But especially as I consider the end, I'm like doubly present. I'm like,
it's like my kids. I had kids, they're little toddlers. All you think is the chaos of, and now I got a kid who's about to leave home, and I'm like, oh no. And now it's like that. I want to be so intentional because I haven't been as intentional as I wish I was. But
because we take things for granted as humans, it's just part of our nature, I think.
You remember Andy Bernard's line in the last episode of The Office? Everyone who watched The Office remembers this.
I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, do us a favor, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the video, like, and subscribe.